we broke away and we broke the chains of colonialism in our continent. And we broke the chains of colonialism because they were imposed on us without our will, without our wish. The security mission to Haiti is mandated by a UN Security Council Resolution 2699. The resolution endorses Kenya to lead and coordinate this multinational mission. All the time, and now we have a debt that is heading towards unsustainable. So when I came into office, I told everybody, tighten up your belts. I am not going to preside over a bankrupt country. I am not going to preside over a country that is in debt distress. We have to cut our spending.
Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's Ndagire here. Thanks for coming. Today's video is something that I wanted to share with you guys. In case you don't know, there's something that is going on in East Africa, in Kenya, and I think it's very important for us to share it to the world because it affects us all, especially as Africans. We need to look into these things and really talk about them. What is happening now in Kenya? Like I started the video, there's the financial bill that was passed, and the taxes of Kenyans is to be increased by 36%. Guys, watch this clip and what the president of Kenya had to say and continue with the video.
Hi, Mr. President. Thank you for having us. We understand that you've curbed public spending and increased taxes to pay off existing debt. I'm wondering if you could speak to how you made that decision, what trade-offs you've had to consider, and how you think that decision impacts everyday Kenyans today.
I think you have been talking to the opposition. Now, you know, the whole principle is that you must live within your means. This has been my message to the people of Kenya. For maybe 12 years, we've been running 8-9% fiscal deficit, you know, which means you're spending money that you're not collecting, and you keep, you know, digging a bigger hole to fill the other one all the time, and now we have a debt that is heading towards unsustainable. So when I came into office, I told everybody, tighten up your belts. I am not going to preside over a bankrupt country. I am not going to preside over a country that is in debt distress. We have to cut our spending. We cannot spend what we don't have. Kenyans have been socialized to believe that they pay the highest taxes. But empirical data shows Kenya, as of last year, our tax as a percentage of our revenues was 14%. Our peers in the continent is on average between 22 and 25%, which means we are way below, our taxes are way below those of our peers. So I persuaded and I made a case to the people of Kenya that we must begin to enhance our revenue. Because if we are a serious state, we must be able to enhance our taxes. So my drive is to push Kenya. It's going to be difficult. I have a lot of explaining to do. People will complain. But I know, finally, they will appreciate that the money we go to borrow from the World Bank is savings of other countries. We have to begin to live within our means. And then secondly, is to reduce largesse. You know, there are people travel first class, you know, when it is completely unnecessary. People do, you know, things that, and so when I called, by the way, I sat here with heads of ministries, departments, agencies, and I told them, look, from our data, we can do with 30% less of our recurrent expenditure.
So let me get this straight. President Ruto of Kenya is now passing or has made a resolution for a new bill that will tax the citizens of Kenya up to 36% tax increase for the IMF. And on the day this bill was being read in Kenyan Congress, in Kenyan Parliament, members of the US Congress were in Kenyan Parliament when it was being read. This comes after President Ruto was given a White House dinner, a state dinner in the United States by Joe Biden. And the bill he's passing is for the IMF, and part of this bill will allow the IMF and basically corporations to take land from Kenyans in exchange for payment for the loan, for whatever loan they owe the IMF. So basically, the long story short is, President Ruto went to the United States, got a State House dinner from Biden. Right after that, goes back home, puts in a bill that will tax Kenyan citizens up to 36%, or up to a 36% tax increase to pay back IMF, which, besides the increase, they also can appropriate land that belongs to the Kenyan people.
Let's unpack this finance bill on taxation of assets. Two things here: cars and land. I used to sell property, and there are two main ways that people buy land in Kenya. It's a freehold and leasehold. If you buy a leasehold, you lease it for 99 years. So you're leasing that land for 99 years. But if you buy on freehold, that land and everything that is on that land is yours. There's no dispute on it. Now, if you're living in a municipality, according to this finance bill, the stamp duty for you is 2%. But now they want to up it to 4% for that stamp duty. So this is already an asset that you already have. You already pay taxes on. But now you must pay something extra. Then when it comes to cars, when you're importing a car, there's stamp duty, there's so many taxes that come with it, and you have to pay for that. But now they want to introduce a 2.5% tax on that car yearly. So this car, if you're using it for daily use, basic use for taking your kids to school, moving from one point to the next, going for drives, the basic things that we do using a car, this car is not giving you money. It's just for using. So that means this is an asset. But now yearly, you're expected to pay 2.5% tax on it on a yearly basis as it continues to depreciate. So you're paying 2.5% on the value of that car yearly. Does that even make sense? This is your asset already that you've already paid tax for, which is okay. But now, what is this 2.5% extra for? Do you see a problem here? So that means if this thing actually happens, that means they are able to come for your assets, all the other assets that you have in future. Because if you are going towards stamp duty, and then now the cars, what else do you think they would come for?
As you've heard in the video, that is what he was asked. And as usual, these leaders always say things to make our ears sound well, good, amazing. And I don't know if we are the ones that are letting it happen, because they are really good at speaking. African leaders, as a general thing, are good at speaking and saying things that they know people want to hear, but the actions of what they come out to say out loudly are completely different. We have the president of Kenya, and recently, not even that long ago, he decided to do a partnership with the US, with the UN, to send Kenyan troops to Haiti to help out with the crimes happening in that place, with the things going on in that place. The president of Kenya, Mr. Ruto, who went to the US on a big budget. Like, he really spent a lot of money, almost 200 million Kenyan shillings, around that. And it's crazy that this is the person that is now trying to increase the taxes in Kenya when he spent that amount of money. You can imagine that taxpayers' money was used almost by one person to travel to the US to go and meet their father Biden, and that money is paid from the taxes of people of Kenya. and nothing is really done to change things that happen in Kenya. This is the same person that was saying we are fighting the colonizers and we are getting our independence and we are not going to allow to be disrespected.
We broke away and we broke the chains of colonialism in our continent. And we broke the chains of colonialism because they were imposed on us without our will, without our wish. They were undemocratic. They were not participatory. They were against the majority will of the people of our continents, whether it is the Portuguese here in Mozambique or the British in Kenya. These were wills that were imposed on our people without their consent. Our position is that undemocratic, unconstitutional imposition of the will of any government of whatever nature on the people without their consent is wrong, the same way colonialism was wrong.
The first man and the second man, those are two different people in one person. First, he says we need to do better. Then second, oh, we need to pay our debts. So if we need to pay our debts, that means that I have to do a deal with the UN, with the US, the same people as the US that has really been doing the most to hurt, to distract, to literally mess up every other nation they go to. Congo, Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq. We see what is happening in Palestine. The US is involved. Ukraine, the US was involved. Every other country in the world that is really having issues right now of war, the US is always behind it. So why would the president of Kenya, Mr. Ruto, the same person that said we are getting away from colonization, be the same person to do the deal or sign things with the same people that came and colonized the continent and his country? Why would he do that? It clearly shows that we have a lot of hypocrisy in the African leadership, or people that literally force themselves into power, that are still maintaining the colonization and still keeping us in the situations that we are in because they benefit. They rather please the other party of the Western countries than to really do things that are better. People have to go on streets and demonstrate for you to understand that you need to do better as a person. You need to do better for your people. These are the same people that talk about democracy, like, oh, we are a democratic kind of a government, but they bring out laws, implement laws without even consulting the mass, without understanding what its population, their citizens, are going through, but still claim to be good leaders and independent leaders. You really start questioning yourself, like, why is it that when these leaders that come and say these things of we are running away from colonization are the same people that want to implement the same things that the colonizers did, or actually do deals with the colonizers, and still come out and want us to praise them like they are doing better for us? Make it make sense? It really doesn't. I try to process it and I just really can't. We have a lot of these leaders that are good at talking, and I always tell you guys, the only time African leaders speak about something and they really stick to it is when they are talking about sex, and that's the LGBTQ situation. That's when they really come out and they show that, oh, we are not anywhere in next with the US. Whatever agenda they want to push to us, we don't want to listen to it. We have morals, we have cultures, we are respectable people. That's the only time African leaders really come out and say something that really stands. But when it comes to really getting into things that actually hurt people, like hospitals being built, schools being built, roads being constructed, infrastructures being fixed, jobs being fixed somehow in some way, or really at least taxing people and doing things that are possible to be done, or things that really need to be done, they are nowhere to be found. They are so far away, they don't even hear what you say. They are running away like crazy in flights to go and meet other colonizers every single day. UAE summit, British summit, American summit, Korean summit, everywhere summit, and it's always our African leaders that have to leave the continent in big numbers, in very huge expensive things, for them to go and still come out and tax us like crazy. and also get the money from our taxes and do nothing with that money to fix things we have in the continent, how are we still going to come and say the colonizers are a problem in 2024? Are they really the problem now? I mean, they know they can just buy us. Like, they get your leader, they sign your resources off. They get your leader, they sign the land that you have. Like I had in the financial bill they passed, because they want to pay the loans. Kenya has to pay loans. We have a lot of loans going on. Even in Uganda, a lot of African countries have a lot of loans from the Western countries, even though they take our resources that are actually more valuable. You get what I mean? The thing is, the land of the Kenyans, with the financial bill that is being passed, it allows investors or Western countries, Western people, to be able to use the land of Kenyans and do whatever they want, as we still pay taxes to pay the loans that we have these people. Do I make sense? The bill comes with us letting these foreigner countries be able to use our land for their gain. Is that a leader that is doing deals that are good for their people? So I really like when people come out and call out such leaders.
It's not a fight. It's not a Mau Mau revolution, as the social media is saying. It is just an awakening to tell the members of parliament that we are aware. Our civic awareness is now sharpened. We are getting to know the legislation procedures. We're getting to know what the Constitution of Kenya says. We will not be left behind in decision-making processes, such as the finance bill, because even the Constitution allows us to participate in these conversations.
I mean, I can't say he's that bad, but everything that he's doing right now, also shifting and relocating the UN staff to Kenya, I mean, how is that even helping us grow as a people if you're still letting these colonizers, these people that you say came and took everything you had, like you didn't know any better, but you're still signing things when you think you know any better, but you're still signing things with your right cautiousness and selling Africa off and selling Kenyans off. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's really crazy, really, looking at this hypocrisy we have in Africa with our leaders. And I mean, most times we should really not really focus more on the colonizers and really call out our own leaders, because the more we do it, the more they will come out and say statements. Because when people went on the streets, he had to come and address. And I love the faces on Kenyans. They were not smiling. They were not buying whatever he was saying. And you could feel the panic in his tone, because he sees that things are going to go crazy if he does not fix himself. I mean, he has to fix himself or people are going to go crazy, because this is really raising an international traffic eye. And I don't think it's something that he wants to see. You want to go and help Haiti with Kenyan soldiers? Start in your own house and fix yours first before you get out of your house. Or actually help your neighbors first, like Congo, before you think about going miles and miles away. Yeah, guys, that is it for me in the video. Let me know what you think about this. It's really crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.